On this week's show, coding with Infinity, vision and concept form, and we finally get patched. All this more in episode 112 of the Inside Infinity podcast. Do you like Disney as much as we like Disney? You better. Well, if you do, you should head on over to MediaMeltdownPodcast.com and look for the Mousecast. Mousecast is a bi-weekly podcast discussing all things Disney. Disney movies, Disney news, Disney theme parks, anything Disney, your heart's content. Check it out. It's co-hosted by the one and only Stephen Krellin, friend of the show, with some other awesome people on the show. So check them out, MediaMeltdownPodcast.com. Look for the Mousecast. This episode of the Inside Infinity podcast is brought to you in support by Gonda Chris. Check out her custom. She does custom amiibos, custom Skylanders, custom Infinity. Her stuff is spectacular. We have a custom Maui version of Stitch that we're giving away thanks to her. You should check out her store at gondachris.storeenvy.com. Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 112 of the Inside Infinity podcast, recorded Wednesday, November 11th, 2015. I'm your host, Will Kelly, and I'm never inviting these other two back because they were just cracking up during that lead-in. I'm seeing them in the corner of my eyes. You can hear me smiling in my voice. Lim, how are you, my friend?
Doing freaking awesome.
Well, I'm glad. You're already having a blast, and the show hasn't even started yet.
Well, how can I not? Look at these guys. I feel like I'm in a GQ ad.
Oh, you're so nice.
I am Southern Canadian, so.
That's true. That is true. So you're an honorary Canadian. We got the real Canadian there. Lloyd, welcome back to another week's episode.
Thanks, Will. Thanks for having me back. And you are partly right there. You're not having me back next week because I won't be here next week.
That's true.
It's doing a little bit of traveling, so I won't be on the show next week. So hopefully you can live without me.
I can, but I don't know if the rest of the world can. So I think we might be drowning in our tears next week. I'd like to say hello to everyone who is in the chat room. I love the crowd. I love it so much. These people were watching our live stream this morning. Gonna just give a couple shout outs. What up, Justin? Good seeing you, buddy. Crystal Perry Joe, what's up, buddy? Daniel, Cindy, Infinifan80, what's up, Heather, and Sup Mom. I gotta say, I know everyone's name personally except for two people. So I'm gonna have to reach out and get your names, but I just want to welcome you all to the live episode on another abnormal time. But I think this is great, guys. We got to start doing these shows not on Mondays, because it seems like we do the shows on Mondays and then Tuesday or Wednesday all the news hits, and that's what happened this week. So I'm like, sweet, we got a ton to talk about tonight.
It's funny the way that works. Like the news cycle, the game release cycle is every Tuesday, so you expect a lot of news on the Monday because of everything coming out on Tuesday, but no, stuff comes out on Wednesday because they don't want to get buried by the stuff coming out on Tuesday. It's weird, man. It is so weird.
Well, Justin is saying he loves the Wednesday show. So who knows? Maybe we'll be switching things up. Maybe we'll throw out a poll or something. Heather's saying Mondays are rough. So you know what? We're gonna discuss this. We might end up making some changes for you, the viewer and listener. Podcasting is on demand.
Daniel very happy if we move to Wednesday.
Why? Can you watch it then?
Dragon Skull can show up.
We're not gonna. Never mind. Back to Mondays. Nah, just playing Daniel. Just joking. All right, well, guys, we do have a lot to talk about tonight, so let's go ahead and get things started. But the first thing, the most important thing, biggest news of the week, is a thanks. It's a thanks from all of us, Lloyd, Lim, and myself, and the team, and the greater team of Extra Life this year. It was a resounding success. We exceeded our goal by more than 50%. So our goal, I'm going to bring it up here on screen. Hey, there's that Maui Stitch. And it's not too late to donate. I'm not That's not what I'm doing right now. But there's Stitch. I do want to mention our auction still. Where is the? Oh, there we go. There's our goal. So our goal was $1,000. We kind of opened up the team a little bit, and we raised a total of $1,480. We could not have done that without your help and support, even if you didn't donate, but you got to watch us on the live stream rooting for us in those long hours. That was support, and so we really, really appreciate you. I think everyone in the chat with us tonight watched the stream at some point. So thank you so much for
absolutely
for supporting us in that. Super, super stoked. It's not too late to donate, like I said. In order to be entered for this special custom, one-of-a-kind Gonda Chris exclusive Maui Stitch figure, all it takes is a minimum of $5 donation, and so you still have your time to do that. I also want to mention that we still have these amazing custom commissioned art pieces that Justin donated to the show. So there's 3 different auctions, so you can kind of choose which level you want. There's one that includes this main picture, which has the full battle, then 2 individual pictures of just Vader and Yoda independently. So that's one. That's the most expensive. It comes with 3 art pieces. There's another that just has the 2 individual Yodas, and then the last one, and so that's kind of the mid tier, and then the lowest tier is a single commission of the full battle. So that is on the Extra Life page. Just search for To Infinity and Beyond on Extra Life, or head over to DisneyHolics.com. We partnered with Christopher over there. I had a blast playing games with him, and so you can find the information there, or just go to extra-life.org, look for To Infinity and Beyond. So awesome. And thanks, I mentioned viewers, thanks to the people that played with us. That was a kind of an impromptu, nice surprise, and it definitely made the time go by pretty quick. So awesome. Cool. That's Extra Life. So thanks again. Love doing it again this year. Thanks for everyone watching and who participated. Lim, you did an awesome job this weekend too. And Lloyd, we missed you. We know you were busy, but next year you're just going to have to put in double time.
So 48 hours next year. That's
yep.
I don't know if I can
doing it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I really missed doing it this year. It sucked. I did pop in the stream to check out what was happening a couple times, but I was tied up for pretty much the whole weekend, which really kind of stunk. So yeah, unfortunate that I didn't get to do it, but I'm looking forward next year to sit down with another 24 hours of video gaming in my life. So it'll be good.
We will make it happen next year.
I was happy to see that that when I switched from Disney Infinity, people didn't disappear because we added another Disney game in.
Oh yeah, because you did Fantasia, right?
Yeah,
correct.
Right.
Yep,
that's cool.
So, and apparently Dragon Skull bought Fantasia because of that.
Oh, so awesome. I thought people were just tuned in to watch you flail your arms around.
Oh yeah, well that too. Don't you own it, Will? Don't you own that game?
No, I meant to pick it up. Like it was on sale for $5 the other day, and I was gonna buy it, and it just completely slipped my mind because I played the demo, and the game from the demo seems awesome.
It's fantastic.
It's a dance game.
I own it on my Xbox One, and it's more fun to watch Lem play it than it is. The future Fantasiaing will be watching Lem play it.
That's so awesome. Lim, I didn't know you could stream it. Because I know you can't record it or have on-demand gameplay because of the audio, but I didn't know you could stream it either, so that's super cool that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
That's it? Yeah.
Canadian dancer.
Is that you?
No, it's really Lloyd. We want to see Lloyd do it.
We do.
No one wants to.
Oh my God, we should totally, if we all get the game, we should have one night where we do a stream dance-off. That would be, and not do it for points, but have the chat vote for the winner. That would be glorious.
Yikes!
It's on. We gotta do that. Totally.
I don't know. I'm Finafan saying you're a beast in Fantasia, so now you got me scared. All right. Well, this isn't a Fantasia show; it's an Infinity show. So I guess we should probably start talking about the news. What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
Let's
All
do it.
right. All right. So this first items, this is really cool, guys. It's something that we've talked about. Jason and I have talked about for the last 2 years. It's awesome to be talking about it for a third year. This is coming at you from DisKingdom.com, and Disney / Star Wars / Infinity is teaming up with Code.org again this year for the Hour of Code. And the really cool thing is, so the intention of this is to bring computer science and coding to K through 12 students around the globe, and just kind of introduce coding to kids, because it's such a amazing potential as far as careers go, and just interest. It matches perfectly with Disney Infinity, because a huge part of Infinity, whether you know it or not, is coding. And so it's kind of the best of both worlds. And it's important to note that you're not playing Infinity for this Hour of Code and using these tools, but they are similar assets, as you can see in the picture that I'm bringing up on screen. I didn't hear anything about this in the Disney community at first, but I saw the images through my Disney blogs, and I'm looking at them, I'm like, yeah, that's totally Infinity figures. So good to see the Infinity presence in this again. So some exercises in using Star Wars and Infinity assets. So and there's an awesome video. I'm not going to play it, but I do want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Lloyd, you're in IT. You have kids. Has your kids ever dabbled in coding of any sort? And what do you think of the Hour Code and Infinity's connection?
A little bit. I've done a little bit of game development with my son. Actually, we started working on a little bit of a game together, just using Unity and some other stuff. So he was more kind of the creative director. I was more of the coder. But something like this is totally what I need to get my kids into it. I'd love to do a lot more of that kind of stuff. I've been such a huge fan of this happening over the last few years. It's just such a smart thing to get kids involved, to get girls involved with a lot of these different coding things that are happening. They're targeted at different types of people that maybe don't look at coding as something that they would maybe want to do. But as we move forward in the world that is run by computers, having some skills to code is definitely going to be a life skill that everybody needs at some point in the future. So yeah. I love it. And I love the fact that they're using Infinity assets. It looks really great, except the BB-8 looks similar to my BB-8 Infinity character that I have.
Oops,
so.
Sorry, I switched camera.
It's the high res BB-8.
Yeah, to go with my my Kylo Ren Disney Infinity character.
Looks oddly familiar and stylistically a tad different.
Oh no, totally looks like it's an Infinity style. Come on, that's totally BB-8. No, I picked up these really great statues at the Disney store, and I took a couple photos, and I got a couple confused responses back. I didn't think people thought that I was going to be that I was serious when I did it. So I apologize to everybody that I offended, but yeah, I don't know. This is great. I'm going to see if my kids want to do this with me.
Well, and you're actually hitting a great point here. Is that if you look at the kind of the splash page, for lack of a better term, we get the two leading ladies of the Star Wars universe, at least kind of as it stands now. There's more, obviously, but I think that you're absolutely right, is that it is for K through 12, but it's also to get girls interested in. I mean, here in the States, I'm not sure about up there in Canada, Lloyd, but here in the States over the last maybe 5 years or so, there's been a real push to get girls and women interested into the STEM sciences. And this absolutely falls into that category. Lim, what are your thoughts on either that piece? I know you have a daughter, or just the Hour of Code and Infinity's involvement in general.
I work with a lot of youth and kids, and one day I was working with a group of boys, and they just started talking coding, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they start teaching me a few things, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And and they got excited about it. And now these are the kids that are going to be, coding my Wally chair when I'm older. So
That's awesome.
I'm encouraging it. And if my daughter, who loves technology, loves to build things, she's a Minecraft nut. If she decides she wants to do something like that, I'm all for it
That's cool.
with gusto.
That's super, super awesome to hear. Both kind of your daughter's potential interests, but then also the kids that you kind of mentor and have a relationship and connection with, already getting into coding. Nick in the chat room, accomplished and established toy box artist, said that he participated in Hour of Code and played this, and it was a ton of fun. So absolutely, I mean, it's open for anyone who's interested in it, and I haven't had a chance to actually check it out. I have in the first year, I think. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool. Check it out. Support it. It's a really, really good thing, and good on Disney for participating.
Yep.
Okay, so Nick's saying, at my high school there's a coding class that participates in Hour of Code, and half the class is female. That's super, super cool. All right, guys. Well, that is news item number 1. Let's go to number 2. This has been the topic of conversation for the last, 3 weeks now, it seems, in some way or another. It's either been PC Disney Infinity Talk or Apple TV Infinity Talk. And last week we talked about the Apple TV demo. This news item's coming at you again from DizKingdom.com. And we got the stealth release. So last week JV is like, it's coming. But he gave no indication that it was coming that soon. And I loved how it just dropped. I went to sleep super late last night. It was like 1 a.m. and I already saw this popping up on my news. I'm like, what? Why are you throwing this ass in the middle of the night? But you know what? It doesn't matter. Here it is. $100, guys. $100. You get the Bluetooth base. You get the starter pack. You get Anakin and Ahsoka. Plus, you get the Steel Series wireless controller, Nimbus controller, which alone retails for $60. So $100 is quite expensive, but when you factor that in, it kind of doesn't seem nearly. It's not a bad deal in that respect.
You're getting the game and the figures for $40.
Yep, exactly. It's just a matter of if you can swing it after, I assume most people already have the game. This is just a different version of it. So super, super cool. What do you guys think about this?
Now that's, if I remember correctly, it's the black base, right?
Yes.
To kind of go along with it. Okay, I'm probably not going to get it, but that base looks awesome.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
The base is going to look great until you touch it, and then it's going to have things that you'll never be able to get off it ever.
Yeah,
I love black electronics. Like I love the look of them, and then like a weekend they're covered in dust and fingerprints. It's like, they look so ugly, and then you have to clean it. I hope the base maybe has a little bit of a nice little coating on it, so it doesn't get so messy. But yeah, it does look way different with the white Disney Infinity logo on it. It definitely looks striking.
Yeah. Lloyd, all you have to do is you just kind of grab it on the backside there. That looks a little bit like a matte finish. So, you just grab one edge and you'll be safe.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, like this.
What's that?
You just carry it around like this.
Yep. Well, it's mobile, and so I don't know. You probably will be moving it pretty frequently. This is a cool thing. I love how all in Disney's going with the Apple TV, and the Apple TV is, we discussed it, I don't know, I think when it first was announced, this is a great opportunity for an entirely new, potentially new audience to get involved in Infinity.
Totally.
People like us, we already have it. Maybe we'll wait for it to go down in price, or who knows, but it's awesome, and it's a pretty good deal, I think.
It is. I love the fact that it comes with a controller, and that it's a
Right.
controller that just doesn't work with the game, that it works with anything that you want to do on your Apple TV. I was a person that picked up the mobile version of the last Skylanders game, not the newest one, but the previous one. I got it for like $20 on Blowout. And I was so happy because I had a controller, an MFI controller I could use with my iPad and iPhone, except that controller only works with that one game, and it's just like, oh boy, that was a waste of $20.
Yeah.
So this is if you're someone that is buying an Apple TV and one of the things that you want to do is game, having a controller that isn't an Apple TV controller with one button essentially that you're using for these games and a touchpad, this is a huge deal. You're getting a $60 game, and then you're getting access to any of the content that you own already on your collection of Disney Infinity stuff for an extra $40.
Yep.
Seems like a pretty good steal.
And I've done considerable amount of research on MiFi or MFI controllers, and this is by far currently it's the best one out there. So as you can see, it mimics kind of a cross between a PS4 and Xbox One controller, and I have the smaller version of this controller, and it's of high quality, and I expect this one to be even better. And the reviews even say that. So in that respect, yeah, like you said, Lloyd, it's a great deal because you're getting lots of things there. One thing I found really interesting about the press release was something that JV said. I think it was JV. I gotta find the quote again. Well, I wrote it down, so I have that. I just got to find it in the actual article. I'll look that up, but it says we're offering the complete Disney Infinity 3.0 experience on this device, optimized for Apple TV. And this is where it gets interesting. That we know, and we're already planning new Disney Infinity experiences for the App Store. So what does that mean, guys?
Well, can't you already get like on your iPhone? Can't you get Takeover? Right?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Here, let me. I'll go into it. You keep talking.
Okay.
And I think you can access it with a web code, maybe.
Yeah, because came with a web code. So
yeah. So
I know that when Disney Infinity first came out, there was a series of apps that came to the App Store. There was one where you could make little videos with the Disney Infinity characters, and there was another one. I can't recall what it is. I remember the one where you can make videos because I just found all the videos that we made with my son getting scared by Sully and some other stuff, and it was incredibly hilarious. But I wonder if that's what they're talking about. Like maybe there's going to be like the Frozen Freefall Match 3 puzzle game, but instead using kind of Disney Infinity assets and characters, and get into some of those like free to play game experiences that are doing really well for Disney right now.
what do you think about that? I'm all about that idea. As a fan of Infinity, I haven't played the Frozen Match 3 game or whatever it is, but if it did have an Infinity spin on it, I would probably at the very least check it out, even if it's the game type is not my normal.
I downloaded all the other Disney Infinity apps, even ones made by Disney, like all the collectors apps and stuff, just to look at them, right? Because I'm all in on this product. I'd play any game that Disney comes out with that uses the really cool design that they have for these characters that are in Disney Infinity.
Absolutely. All right, Lem, what's the verdict? You get it pulled up?
I have big fingers, so I touched the wrong one, but I did see Toy Box Takeover in there. I don't remember if I put my Speedway code in yet. So
I'm pretty sure Speedway does not work yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I think.
There's your experiences, and then Battlegrounds.
And who knows if maybe that's an extra download. I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of, and that technically could be a new Infinity experience for the App Store. Who really knows? I just thought it was kind of an interesting, out of everything that was mentioned, it was kind of thrown in there at the very end. And here I found it in the article. I just kind of found it interesting, and it was said for a reason. So, I mean, I guess that could always be 4.0. I mean,
exactly. It could be that simple.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. Yeah. my money's on kind of a match 3 puzzle game using Disney Infinity assets, but if they bring out something new and awesome, bring it. I want to play it, and I will buy it and enjoy it. So please do.
What are you laughing at, Lim?
No, I'm laughing. He's like, just bring it. I will buy it.
Yeah.
I have a series of apps like that for myself. It's just like, oh, new one, bought.
Yeah,
Don't even know what it does.
I don't even pretend. I know how weak I am when it comes to certain things, and Disney Infinity is one of those weaknesses. So
the curse of Infinity fandom.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, that's the Apple TV release. I know there's a couple. I know Infinity Inquirer had a first impression, and so did Kingdom. So go check it out. And if we get our hands on it, we will absolutely give our thoughts as well. Next news item. Actually, Lim, I got to give you props for this. I'm bringing up InfinityInquirer.com. Jason over there wrote up an awesome article, but he sourced us because, Lim, you sent it into our private group chat. You're like, dudes, CNET article, and there is a figure. What is this confirmation? So there's a CNET article discussing it, very similar to some articles we've seen in the past, discussing the process of creating these physical figures. And not only that, from a philosophical standpoint, toys as they exist today and their connection with video games. It's a great article. You should absolutely go check it out and read it over there at CNET. You can find the link in the show notes. But the thing that we're really kind of picking out here is the vision concept. So, Lim, I'm going to throw it your way first because you were the first one to swat it in our group, and you were kind of freaking out. So let's hear it. What are your thoughts on vision?
Okay, I am very excited for Vision. I love the concept. I love how I found out about it. This is to preface me saying I'm a little disappointed that we're getting him.
I think I know where this is going.
All right, and I'm a little disappointed because we were told that it wasn't the quote unquote leak wasn't right. It wasn't true. So I'm a little disappointed. It's like, yay! I got the thing I wanted for Christmas. But I got it in June. Now I'm getting squat for Christmas.
Right.
You know?
So I mean, you actually you had a conversation on social media
Yes.
about your frustration with this, and I felt that we had some internal conversations with the team, and
Right.
I felt that your response was very appropriate to all the. There's a lot of people out there that were angry they were getting their present, but they were getting it in June. And
Yeah.
I feel like you handled yourself pretty well. So let's kind of take a step away from the figure for a moment, and let's talk about this, because this is something we talk about a lot on the show, is Disney's communication. It's how they handle communicating with the community, how they handle leaks, how they handle announcements in general. It's kind of a you're pardon my French, but you're damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah. I was disappointed because it felt to me like an outright fabrication of truth.
You mean lie?
Yeah, it's a lie.
Politely put.
Yes. It was an outright lie. And if it was going to be well, we can't discuss that right now, fantastic. You're still getting the point across that you're not saying anything now. People can believe that means a yes. Great, but I didn't say yes. I said we can't discuss that right now.
Yeah.
I would have rather heard that. Mainly because there's a trust factor with our community. I mean, there's no secret how much I love all of our community. Mm-hmm. To me, it's a big family. And you got cousins and such you don't always want to see, but you're still there supportive.
Right.
And I feel like that now is going to put a black spot that wasn't there on leadership in the community.
Okay.
Lloyd, what are your thoughts?
I, I, yeah, I don't feel that way at all. I've been dealing with games press and PR for ever, and you ask a question and you get a no, and then 2 months later it's a yes, and that's the way it works. Especially when it's something like this where Disney has companies that they bought, so they own the companies, but those companies still have rights and contracts and other things that, while Disney owns them, they're still beholden to some of those agreements that have been made in the past. So if they say no, they're not saying no because they want to lie to the community. They're saying no because they can't, for whatever reason, whether it's contractual or whether they have this huge PR push that if they say yes now, it's going to supersede that. So whenever you see a PR person say no, 9 times out of 10 it's a yes. When you or more so when you see a PR person say we can't comment on that, it's obviously a yes. And
So it's like having a conversation with my parents.
But for something like this where we don't know, like we know that there was supposed to be an Ant-Man reveal a while ago, and there was even a tease, something big is happening, and there's a little tiny figure on the Hulk's hand, and then that didn't happen, and we've been kind of like internally we've been saying, well, is this a Marvel thing? Is something did something happen? Is there maybe an issue with the way that the figure itself is being presented? Like, we don't know. For them to come right out and say nothing about that, it wasn't them being mean. It's just that they can't say anything because of whatever agreements that they have out. So I saw a lot of hate where people are like really upset at Disney for lying to them. And it's like, well, yes, you ask any director, like go up to J.J. Abrams and say, is Luke in this movie and is he bad? And he's going to say no, or he's going to say no comment. He's not going to say, well, yeah, you figured out the ending of this movie coming out. Congratulations. You know what I mean? Like, not that I'm saying that Luke is in Star Wars, and I'm not spoiling anything if he is. I just threw it out because that's something that people have been chatting about online a lot. That's kind of what happens in the PR industry, where they can't say yes because they're ruining stuff that might be happening down the road. So I see the heat, and I feel really bad for JV sometimes, a lot of the times, and it's just that's the PR beast. And I think the issue with Disney Infinity, that maybe Activision or Blizzard or other companies that repeatedly say no until the day that it comes out, or Apple, it's always no, we're not coming out with we're not coming out with an iPod that plays videos. That's stupid. No one would do that. Introducing the new iPod video. Like that's the way the beast is. Yeah. But Disney's a little bit different because they have such a hands-on, like, I don't want to say hands-on. They have such a person-to-person friendship with us. Mm-hmm. Like JV is everybody's friend. Allison is everybody's friend. You've never met them, or some people have, but most people have never met them. But to them, they're our friends because they put out this great video every week, and they're passionate and they're loving and they love Disney. They love the community. We love Disney. We love the community. It makes sense. But at the end of the day, they still have PR handlers that are saying that they can't talk about things because of agreements that were made months and months and months and months ago. I guess that's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Interesting points, Lloyd. Absolutely. And Lim, I get it, man. I keep saying we've had internal conversations about this a lot, and that's not for our audience. It's not to keep you out of the loop. It's intended to just kind of show off that we take these conversations just as serious as I'm sure JV is having the people speaking in his ear. And Lim, when the news first broke out, we talked quite heavily about what does this mean, and I remember telling you that I didn't quite buy it, and you're like, well, if you don't buy it and it comes to light that it's not what they say, then that could potentially damage the community. And I'm like, I wasn't disagreeing with that either.
Right.
But it is just it's such a delicate game that they play, and maybe the mistake in this situation was just saying something. Period. Maybe nothing should have been said. I feel like that the Infinity community in a lot of ways is like cats to flashy things. I feel like the next big thing we're gonna forget, and hopefully a lot of people that have lost faith in JV, if they have based on this, are gonna forget all about it. Just to play devil's advocate, I by no means think this is the case, but nothing was mentioned in this article about vision. This is simply concept. So exactly. I think that would be a worse trolling than what we're talking about. If this figure actually never came out, I think that would be worse. But we still don't know what the story is.
Yeah, I think I'm conditioned because with my wife, it's you figured out your Christmas present? You're not getting it.
Oh, that's brutal. So I bet that is very effective for keeping the kids away from those hidden closets.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh yeah.
I love that. So, have you heard? So this article we found out about this last week. So this on Infinity Inquirer is November 4th. I haven't heard much about it since then. Lim, have you heard much fallout? I'm just curious because I
haven't heard, the only fallout I've heard some on Instagram. There are quite a few people on Instagram that were, I told you so, slap in the face, blah, blah, blah. And to me, great, you were right. You were right on a disappointing piece.
Yeah, right.
In my eyes, my personal eyes. I'm like, yay, you were right about no snow on Christmas. Ooh.
So what you're saying is like, it would have been one thing if people were like, I was right, I told you I was right about getting vision, versus I was right, I told you they were a liar because we're getting vision.
Yeah, exactly. That's yay, we're getting vision. Fantastic. Cool. You're positive.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Oh yeah. How do you feel personally? I mean, you kind of felt slighted at first. Have you, not to put you on the spot, this is just to show off your passion as well, but do you understand if it does come out? Do you understand that, and do you wish it was handled differently, or kind of where do you stand?
Completely understand that it's got to happen. What happens being a performer in the past, you don't want to give away your big show. I personally think that when we find things out, the show goes down. Okay, well, they already know. We don't need to make a big to-do about it.
Yeah.
I love the big to-do. And I think that's probably the most disappointing to me, that what if we didn't know? They could make it a huge showy deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now that we know, no big deal.
Well, and who knows how it's going to play out. Hopefully it doesn't turn into another Ant-Man situation.
Yeah.
Which I don't think was, that particular one is necessarily Infinity's fault, but...
the big showy deal I want, just get me some X-Men. Just get the rights. Back up the truck. Back up the truck of money and buy X-Men.
Amen, brother. This morning on the live stream, we were talking about early 90s Marvel cartoons, and X-Men was at the top of the list.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, anything else on that, guys? I'm
excited for the figure if it comes out. I love Vision. I love Marvel, the MCU take on what Vision is compared to the comics. I think I like the MCU version of Vision almost better. maybe. I don't know. I'd have to go read some comics again to figure that out. But I'm really excited to see what could happen. The fact that in the movie he picks up Thor's hammer makes me wonder what kind of special attacks he's going to have. Is he going to have like random special attacks from every other superhero? Obviously not, but that would be really awesome. I like Vision. I like him a lot. And yeah, I'm happy that he may be coming out at some point, maybe or never. But these images are pretty cool to look at.
One great surprise, thanks to Lim, for the current wave, the wave of last week, was Ultron. Ultron was a big surprise to me of how cool he is, and I kind of feel like Vision's going to be similar, and so I'm super stoked. Like you, Lloyd, I love the MCU version of Vision a lot. So, Lim, are you excited about the figure if he does come to light?
If he does come out, I'm very stoked about him, but I'm even more stoked about T'Challa.
Yeah.
You know, Will, hold on, the blank look on Will's face. He's like,
well, luckily I'm showing Vision on screen, so no one else can see that. So thanks for calling me out. I have no idea who that is.
I didn't know, dude. I'm not. I didn't want to look
joking.
at.
I'm joking.
Okay, T'Challa, Black Panther.
Oh,
because he's
is that his
pretty
name?
much like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's his name. He's pretty much like African Prince Ninja. And so I'm like, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Ninja with claws? Oh.
Be kind of like who's the tiger from the last one? I can't think of his name. From 2.0? With the green dude?
Oh, Power Fists? No.
Yes.
Iron
Fist. Iron Fist.
I blanked
like Tiger Dude. Tiger Dude.
What
Tiger Dude?
I don't know why I said tiger. Does he have a tiger on his shirt?
Because you're thinking of White Tiger.
That's what it was. But I was actually thinking of Iron Fist being, from a gameplay perspective, another awesome surprise that tons of people love that figure. And so if Black Panther or Coachella, what'd you call his name? T'Challa is any
with
indication,
a T.
that would be
T'Challa.
New hotness. And Fantasia says, "We'll sit there, nod your head, and smile."
That's awesome.
Will do.
But yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for all the new MCU movies to come out that are gonna introduce people to characters that maybe they don't know, that aren't like. They aren't the Spider-Man, the Iron Man, the Captain America, and Hulk. It's great to see some of these lesser known comic characters. Although Black Panther is in a lot of comics, in a lot of different series, plays a big part in that. But like Doctor Strange and some of the other characters that are coming into movies, it makes me salivate for what their Disney Infinity character is going to become if that ever happens.
I love that point, Lloyd, because think about it. You guys are comic book fans, and so you know, and anyone with kind of a passing knowledge of comics knew of Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, all of the characters that are literally household names now. Before Iron Man 1 came out, I knew of Iron Man. I didn't really like him. I didn't like his colors. I just didn't like him as a character, but I wasn't a huge comic book reader. And I cannot imagine not having these characters in our lives now. In all honesty, they have become household names, whereas once upon a time, they were a little more niche. You had to know comics, be invested in comics to really kind of have an appreciation from them. But now... So that idea with Black Panther is super, super exciting for me. And the same with Vision. I mean, Vision, I was like, oh, who's this red dude? He's half Iron Man, half Ultron. This guy looks dumb. He sounds stupid. And then seeing him in the movie, I'm like, I love him because he's Jarvis in human synthetic robot form.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like crazy moral android guy, and it's great. It's going to be great to see how he plays out in other MCU movies, just to see how they take that character and move it on.
Awesome, guys. Anything else about Vision or Black Panther since we're here?
Great. Just need more. Just need more.
Just need more. Well, that was actually the other last thing I wanted to mention is that what is also exciting about future movies and future introduction of characters, Lloyd, is the fact that we're already seeing some advancement in previous focuses of the game. So we're not just getting another Marvel playset that is just essentially, I don't know, an action game. We are getting a Marvel brawler, and so it's super exciting to think of the possibilities of what we might get with these new characters in new movies. Lim's head exploded.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun. I was not excited for it, and then the whole panel thing happened, and now it is the thing I want most of my life right now.
That's what makes me the happiest, Lloyd, was that you were like, okay, I don't know. Then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I need to have this.
Yeah. How Power Stone? Is Power Stone? I gotta get Power Stone. Is it Power Stone? I gotta get Power Stone. It's Power Stone, isn't it? It's Power Stone. I gotta play more Power Stone.
Just call it Power Stone and in parentheses Marvel. That's all. Just say that.
That's it.
Yeah, so good. I can't wait for that. And like we're kind of talking about characters and other things. I wonder if they're going to do anything with the Netflix Marvel movies that are coming out. They're a little bit more darker. Can you imagine a darker toned Daredevil in Disney Infinity? How awesome that would be.
Can we get Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider. Oh my God, that would be so
Blade.
good.
Well, I think what's probably most possible in that scenario, and I'm really excited to see how they could tone it down, would be a Daredevil. We know they're coming out the Daredevil movie that is very not Disney. I mean, as far as tone goes. So, and Lim, I know that would make the game for you.
Deadpool.
What I say? I said Daredevil.
You said Daredevil.
I meant Deadpool.
Yeah, but
yes.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
If they could just get the mutants and the Merc, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, the thing with the new show Daredevil is kind of known for this grit and a little more serious take on the world. But Deadpool has kind of always had that inappropriate flair about him. That's what's made the character endearing. Yes or no?
Yeah, the funny thing about him is half the time he's drawn and he looks like a Saturday morning cartoon and he's doing the most rude things ever. And that was the fun of the Daredevil books of the Deadpool books was being able to just like see this bubbly cartoon character do terrible things. Obviously, that's not going to happen in Disney Infinity, but I love that character. Is just the fact that it always breaks. There you go. Breaks the fourth wall and has kind of self-referential stuff in it is great. Yeah, there we go. There's all the Deadpool stuff.
Deadpool and the Hulk.
Your
Come back up. There we go. Deadpool and the Hulk.
I love it.
I want to do this comic book in a toy box.
Yeah.
This issue in a toy box.
I would love to see. I could totally see, and hopefully this is not forbidden, but Deadpool fourth wall breakage in Infinity could just add so much humor to the game. It would totally make me think of a Lego game.
Yeah, like imagine Deadpool's narrator. That would be amazing. Obviously, as the narrator of the game. So it would be kind of like Lego Marvel, where Deadpool has some crazy lines and stuff that happen because he's in Lego Marvel. So
yeah.
I love that character.
Yep. And where'd it go? Nick's saying they pulled Deadpool off in Lego Marvel Superheroes. If they could do it there, absolutely they could do it in Infinity.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, gosh, I love
Heather's head would explode too, by the way.
Yep. That's it. That's what she was just saying in the chat. That'd be awesome. Oh, I still remember unboxing Loot Crate with you, Lim, and the most I've seen you get excited about lots of things. The most I've ever seen you get excited about was Deadpool socks.
Yeah, that was so good. I forgot about that. I'm gonna have to go watch that video again.
Yeah.
It's like getting married, my kids being born, Deadpool socks.
Dimple socks. Oh, wonderful. All right, guys. Well, great. I love talking about potential new figures. Let's get to the last item. It's the most important, I think, of the week outside of our extra life stuff. The long anticipated, long awaited 3.0 November update. We are finally getting it. And the best part about this patch is that it's not only fixing a ton of things that I know every one of us here has had, and many of our listeners and viewers, but also added some new features, which is kind of new for Infinity and Avalanche. It's not something we've seen in this capacity, at least in the past. So first off, I'm not going to go over everything. I am going to go over a few things. This is ready to go in your download queue. If it's not, just go look for it, and it should download for all consoles. Some of the biggest things here that a lot of people have just been dying to get. Improved matchmaking multiplayer for Flynn's Arcade. So you can finally get that trophy. You can finally get that achievement because matchmaking is now working as intended in Flynn's Arcade, according to the patch notes. So that's super, super cool. Toy Box multiplayer sync and stability network play is there. Also improved. I really hope that over the live stream we tried to do some 4-player racing. Hopefully it improves situations like that. I'm not sure. Haven't had a chance to test that, but that's exciting. Some other interesting things. This is one that also happened to me. Fixed an issue on Toy Box Hub, unintentionally resetting. I left the El Capitan at one point, and all my progress was lost, which made me afraid to go in any of those buildings again. Here's another one that's affected me and many others. Achievement Born Adventure can now be unlocked. Lloyd, was this broken on the PlayStation, do you know? So it prevented platinuming it. It was completing all of the Toy Box adventures in the hub. It wasn't broken, right? It was working?
No. Yeah, no, I got my platinum like a day or two after the game was officially released. So it was pretty early. So I don't know, maybe a patch broke it, possibly. Yeah. But yeah, no, I was able to get that without too much difficulty. Even the Flynn's Arcade one, it took 2 hours, but I was finally able to get enough multiplayer matches to get that, and those are 2 hours I'll never get back.
Yeah. So Tesla Blitz in the chat is saying tried multiplayer today. One problem, not a lot of people were there. I think it's kind of widely known at this point to stay away from Flynn's Arcade and multiplayer. Hopefully this kind of changes that. So
I hope the it being broken for so long just didn't scare enough people away that they'll never go back, because that was one of the features of 3.0 that was pretty exciting. The fact to just randomly jump in and play with other people and do these fun games, and then it was just such a terrible experience right from day one. Yeah. So hopefully enough people will come back so that you can actually find matches and do the stuff.
Yes, sir. This is interesting. I'm really curious what this means. Improved mechanics and stability for toy box farming. I've noticed one small glitch in farming, but I wonder what that could mean. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have any problems farming.
No.
Here's one for you, Lem. I know you'll appreciate this. Player no longer falls through floors inside interiors.
Yes.
I gotta bring your celebration on screen.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I spend a fair amount of time in interiors.
You and the design squad. So many people were having this problem. So many. I for the first couple weeks of the game, I kept seeing this on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for you people, because it's a bummer. Now let's get to so those things alone, those improvements, worth it just for that.
Yeah.
But that's not all. We also got some new features. I think we discussed it on the show when we were first giving our thoughts on the game release, and that's this new cool toy called the Boss Battle toy. But we were a little bit confused because mechanically they were similar to the boss battles in Toy Box Takeover. You get in Toy Box Takeover, you have a ton of bosses that you can battle. Well, guess what, guys? you can now battle new bosses in the boss battle toy. I want to give a shout out to Pirate. Pirate's actually the person who told me about the patch today, but he was highlighting some of the things. So some of the new bosses that you can now fight. You can now fight Venom, Green Goblin, Ronin, Hulk. That's an awesome one. Hulk.
Nice.
Some Hulk versus Hulkbuster action would be fun, Pirate was telling me.
Nice.
You get Barbossa and Davy Jones, which those are some of my favorite boss battles in the in Toy Box Takeover. Syndrome and Boba Fett. How cool is that, guys? That's a huge feature improvement right there.
I did a boss battle in Toy Box Takeover during Extra Life, and I was like, "Who is that?" And then Boba Fett comes at me because I haven't seen Boba Fett in game yet.
Oh.
And I'm like, cool. I'm getting my butt kicked by Boba Fett. Yay.
Well, now you can get it kicked whenever you want.
Yay. Let's do it.
That's going to be super. I think this just adds a cool dynamic to the game. And I don't know. It's like, I was kind of disappointed with the bosses before just because I wanted some of these others that we had faced off in previous games. And actually, when we got to face off with them in the takeover, it would be so sweet to be able to control those boss battles and, make toy boxes with them, or just throw it down when you're looking for a diversion and you want to play Jack Sparrow versus Davy Jones. You start that boss battle up and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
You
ideas.
I want to see a Hulkbuster and Hulk battle. I think that needs to happen.
I think we can work that.
All right, so that's probably the biggest, I think, new feature. We also have more townspeople and critters added to the friend generator. I don't quite get that. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just I don't know.
I guess it's just if you do a random one and it was a very small choice that you had, you can now there's more in the list of things that can possibly come out, I guess.
And if you have a themed toy box you're making.
Yeah.
True. Tesla Blitz is saying, still hope we get much different bosses. Zurg, Butch Cavendish, and the Inquisitor. I would love to have Zurg. Oh my god, Zurg would be awesome. Why would you throw that idea in my head? I don't understand this one because I thought this functionality was already in the game, but maybe I'm just understanding it wrong. Path connection added to rail target to make a moving target. I don't get it. Toy box.
I thought that was already there too.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a toy box where the targets were moving, but maybe that was done by attaching the target to something else and then having it move. Maybe now you can put it directly on the path.
So I've made that exact thing, Lloyd. So I know that you can do that. So I'm thinking rail target's different than like a target. I think that might be. I think that might be the differentiator there. I also hate you too, Lloyd, because Marshmallow is right up there with Zurg as far as awesome bosses go.
That's the one boss I want. I want to fight Marshmallow.
I even think you mentioned that like in one of our launch episodes this year.
When we found out that it was an unlock with the Raceway or Takeover or one of the two, and you finally get it, but it's not something you can fight. It's just a set piece. That made me really sad.
Yeah.
It still attacks you.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Last but not least, you can now hide the property to hide the starter plate in the toy box is available. Also,
that's very cute.
Long wanted and needed.
It was a weird addition. Like that was never a thing really. And then I get why it's there to kind of say, yeah, this is where you start. This is where you started. But it'd be nice if you could have always hit it. But now that they're adding it, that's perfect.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And Nick is saying, it's the rail target is not the same thing as a target. Oh gosh. I'm pulling up. Here it is. I'm pulling up a friend of the show, Jose, Dr. Logic Gate. So that's what it is right there, Lloyd. The rail target is a Creativa toy. So a holographic target that can be connected to other toys. It's especially useful in rail slide layouts. So that's what it is referring to.
Makes sense. Thanks, Dr. Logic 8.
Always. Jose has some amazing tutorials out there. It was a 3-word search, and I found that tutorial. I did hear one. We're not confirming this, but I did hear one rumor. Unfortunately, generally what happens when you release a patch, sometimes things break. And I've heard a rumor that toy boxes with cameras attached to pathways will not work in this patched version of the game.
I will be checking that out immediately.
Yeah. Lim will tweet out on our Twitter whether or not that is in fact the case. Please God no, because so many of the winning toy boxes have that. So it's, oh God, that would just be so sad. So yeah. So that's super, super duper cool. You know what, guys? I got to admit, though, what my absolute favorite part of the update is something that Jason and I have complained about for, about 2.5 years now. And they have delivered patch notes. Instead of having to guess what has been fixed, what has been added, we now have patch notes. So thank you, Disney, because that is awesome. Actually, going through this list and checking off like what is now working that wasn't before is amazing. Sorry, Lim, I cut you off.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I did notice one other thing, and maybe it's just me, but I think the intro music, well, the start screen music, where you can, the menu music, I think that's changed a little bit too.
Really?
Or maybe I just haven't played with my headphones on in a long time, and I'm catching little tiny pieces that I didn't before over the stereo, but I think it's changed a little bit.
Interesting.
Sounds a little
higher
better.
Fidelity.
Yeah.
That's cool. What are you guys happy with these changes, these improvements, feature updates?
Yeah. Hiding that start thing was the first thing I did right before we got on. I was, yes!
I remember asking Papa Echo if that was possible, and he's like, nope. So it's really super cool to have it available now. It's going to make lots of toy box artists happy.
Ooh. Tesla says the music did change.
So it's funny you mentioned that, Lim, because I kind of felt like the music changed a little bit for me as well, but I'll be honest, there's so many different variations of that start screen. I'm just like, oh, maybe this was one I hadn't seen before. So, interesting. And it seems like the chat is very happy with patch notes as well. Joe's saying super awesome, and so is Justin. Cindy is saying they still need to fix friend share. Yeah, nothing about friend share. And one important note, I imagine there's other changes that we just that maybe aren't large enough to be mentioned as a bullet point. I don't know. A lot of times, what do you think, Lloyd? A lot of times they say like and other performance improvements, but they didn't say that here. So do you think there's maybe some other under the hood stuff that it's not worth mentioning, but it will improve the way of life for us?
Yeah, there has to be random things that have been fixed. That's usually how that stuff works. So I wouldn't be surprised. What I'm going to wonder, I didn't check before starting the show, is if these patch notes will now be in the update notes on the PlayStation 4, because you can look at that now on the PS4, which is one of my biggest features, like new features that I was so hyped for. Is when the patch comes out and downloads, you can actually look at the patch notes right on the console without having to go on a web browser. So I wonder if this stuff will find its way there too, which would be a really nice bonus.
That's a super awesome point.
Yeah.
Again, less guessing that we have to do, the better.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, because they've PlayStation or Sony has said, that's going to be a great place for developers to put patch notes. I would imagine it could also be used for known issues, right? So say this this camera path bug exists, it could be like, known issue, we're working on it. Which, if that is the case, just knowing they're working on it would go a long ways, and being able to communicate that in the game.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's good. More communication is always better than less communication. So I'm glad to see patch notes finally. It's something where you you're kind of shocked that it didn't really exist so much before. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, that is a thing. I remember that, or I'm not having that. I don't remember that, I guess is what I should say. Yeah, it's good.
So we don't know when the next patch/update will be, but we do know when we will get a patch/update, and that is with the launch of The Force Awakens. So who knows if that's... I mean, that's really not that far away. That playset is, I don't know, it's a little over a month now. So that's not a long time in patching terms. So at the very least, if things are broken because of the patch, we at the very least could be hopeful that that's when we might get some of those fixes as well. Awesome, guys. This was a great show. I'm super glad you guys joined me. We had lots to talk about this week, and it's kind of nice because last week, Lloyd, you and I, we had like a 30-minute show because there just wasn't much to talk about. So super stoked to have all this news this week.
No,
it's kind of an embarrassment of riches, to be honest. Usually there isn't this much news when there isn't something new coming out. So this is pretty odd. Well, I guess the Apple TV version is new. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's what. Let's all be happy that the Apple TV came out, because that's why we had all this news.
Yeah. There you go.
One thing I'd like for them to add, is if I've got friends on PS4 that I'm friends with on Disney, I want to be able to download their stuff without having to do a go-between.
Agreed. And it's interesting because they've publicly promoted the iOS/PC version of the game with that in mind. Not cross-play, but I forget the term. Is it cross-compatibility? And
right.
So that's the whole point of the Disney ID, is this cloud locker to hold a lot of this information. And there is this weird thing where it's like, well, I have Disney ID friends, I have PS4 friends, and sometimes they match up, sometimes they don't. But yeah, that seems like something they should be working on if they're not already. It's something that was widely requested in 2.0. So if they want to get that sharing down even more, that would be a great way of doing it. Cool, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this week's show. This is awesome. Great conversations. I had a blast. I was worried we weren't going to reach an hour, and here we are a little bit over, but that's okay. We haven't had that in a while, so it's good. It's good to have stuff to talk about. Good to have great conversation with you guys.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
It's fun. It's good having news to talk about, like it, and just having some other side topics to kind of just babble about is great. It was tough kind of scraping together a half-hour show last week, so this is nice. I like this.
Definitely.
This is good.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lim, I want to thank you for coming on, buddy. Thanks for participating in Extra Life. I absolutely wanted to have you on since you did that, but we do want to get you on more often, so thanks for joining this week.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoy it. You guys are awesome sauce.
And so are you, buddy. Where can people find you when you are not sitting in that chair talking with us?
You guys can find me on Instagram. I have several accounts on Instagram. I do run the one for Disney Infinity TV. You can find me as Bad Gamer Official on Instagram and Bad Gamer Official. That's same thing without the L on Twitter. And then also on Facebook and about.me for my photography, and I'm everywhere. You just find Will and Lloyd. They can point you.
Love it. People in the chat are saying we love you, Lim, and it's true, man. You could be having the worst day, and you talk to Lim, you see Lim's Instagram, and it will instantly brighten up your day. So thank you for that. People can also find you a lot of mornings throughout the week too.
Absolutely. Tuesday and Friday is the schedule. Will's taken over a couple of days for me. Thank you. So I don't have to get up so early. But Tuesday and Friday, I do Breakfast with the Bad Gamer on Disney Infinity's Twitch channel, where some of you are now. And if you're not, you need to go there at around 7 a.m. Central Standard Time-ish.
Yeah, it's funny that you seem to have like the same core group of people, which is super, super awesome. JB's always in there, which is cool. And others. So it'll be cool. I know it's early But if
Yeah.
you're awake, check it out. It's always it's kind of an intimate gaming moment with
It is.
with Lim. So it's not him
You
showing
get
off
to
his
see me
dance
freak
moves.
out a little bit more.
Cool. Well, thanks again, buddy, for joining us tonight. Lloyd, thank you for coming back, co-hosting once again. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Well, thanks, Will. Yeah, you can find me over at res.tv and vgpodcast.com. Lots of other gaming fun things on other fun video game things. Also trying to do a little bit more Twitch streaming and other stuff as well, including Disney Infinity. So hopefully some of that stuff will start coming out. But not next week, because I will be away from my consoles all of next week, which makes me really sad because Fallout 4 just came out. And I'm trying to figure out a way that I can pack my PS4 in my luggage and not break it. So we'll see how good that happens. I don't think it's going to work out.
That, dear friend, is one of the sole reasons to own a PlayStation Vita.
Wi-Fi does not behave very often, but I cross my fingers that it does so I can play it well on the road.
I've been known to Wi-Fi hotspot my phone and use all of a month's worth of data for a single patch and authentication for gaming when I did not have internet in my new house. So if I can do it, I think you should do it.
Awesome.
It'll be worth it.
We're back in a week's time. We'll see what happens.
just don't let Kara see the phone bill that month.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah. We'll talk. We'll talk
I'm
later.
just joking. No,
The whole West Canada data thing is always a pain in my.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Just going down to the States.
Ah, yes.
Well, we'll miss you next week. People can find you on Twitter, and you'll be back the week after. So people won't have to be without you too long.
Sounds good. Thanks again for having me, Will.
You're welcome, buddy. So for those that don't know, we keep talking about the Res.tv network. So it is kind of our umbrella network. So it's a network run by all of us, but it just kind of opens up the door a little bit for the topics of conversation. This is Infinity only. We're always only going to be talking about Infinity, or the rare occasion where we talk other Disney games or Toys to Life games for conversation. But this is Disney Infinity. We're not going anywhere. But we are part of that larger network. We recognize podcasting is all about personality and content, and a lot of times people just like the personalities, and so this is just an opportunity for us to talk about some other interest of ours, lots of that being video games and just entertainment in general, and but doing that in a group where we're all there. We can share listeners, we can share our friends on the internet, like all of you watching now. So that's what Res.tv is. It's a separate YouTube channel, but it's kind of our parent company, for lack of a better word. And so you hear us mention that at the outro each and every week. So that's what that is. You should absolutely check out youtube.com/ResTV. Lim is the social media man over there as well. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it. Thanks everyone who joined and chatted with us tonight. It was a blast. Love it each and every week. It's so cool watching the regulars grow. That always warms my heart. If you can't watch us live though, completely understand, and just know that you are just as important to us as well, and we appreciate it on demand as well. So thanks everyone. I'm gonna stop talking now. This is a blast. We will see you next week. Who knows what time, because it seems like Wednesdays is a favorite. So we'll discuss it. You guys, just tell me to shut up.
We like to see you flounder.
All right, guys. Well, love you guys. Love the chat, and we will see you next week. And we hope I just messed up my outro. Until next time, we hope your week is filled with infinite possibilities. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Inside Infinity podcast. We had a blast doing it. If you like what we do, please check us out. You might have seen our Hall of Heroes ticker up at the top. That's for all of our patrons. We love our patrons. We thank them. Without them, we could not do the show each and every week. If you're interested, check us out, patreon.com/DisneyInfinityTV. You don't have to support us just there, though. You could look for us on Twitter, Facebook, youtube.com/DisneyInfinityTV, twitch.tv/DisneyInfinityTV. Also, please subscribe to our parent network, res.tv, youtube.com/restv.